Today we're going to work on setting up some flaps using the flap mix option on the function menu. I've set up an aircraft already. We'll go to the base menu and I'll show you what I've done. Simply assigned configuration to the aircraft. So we have an airplane, a normal wing, we have 2 ailerons and 2 flaps. We have a normal tail and electric power. Now when we say we have 2 ailerons and 2 flaps, we mean that there are actually 2 channels being used for the ailerons and 2 channels being used for the flaps. If you put things on Ys, then it becomes 1 channel. Alright, so we're going to start first by assigning a switch to the flap channel so that we can deploy the flaps. Going here to Control Set, going next, and the first flap channel is channel 6. And I touch done, and I'm going to assign switch 1 by just moving it. That's all you have to do. And so now we assign switch 1 to channel 6. Anything we do to channel 6 will be done to channel 7 automatically as a result of assigning the 2 flap channels in the configuration. What we're going to do now is go to the next screen and the next screen, and if we flip the switch, I'll show you. If I flip the switch now, see how everything just jumps? Well, that's not really a great deployment of flaps. So what we want to do is we want to slow down the flaps so that they're more scale-like and they don't just snap into position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to under the control set screen, the last page. I'm going to go to channel 6 and I'm going to increase the delay there to about 2.5 minutes. Just be fine. Okay? Now when I touch the servo screen and I flip the switch, you'll see that they move more scale-like. Okay? Now the other problem is, of course, is that they move in a position where either side of the switch is one position of the flaps, but the center is the neutral position. We'll fix that shortly. Right, so we've got the control set. Let's go back. So now we're going to go into the function menu and we're going to use flap mix. So the first thing I want to do is set up the flap mix, and I'm going to put rate A to be, say, plus 40%. I've got a decrease here. And I'm also going to do the same thing on the other side. No sense in having one flap deploy and not the other. And here we're going to go to 30, rate B. And here we'll go to 30 on rate B. Okay, I'm going to show you what's going to happen now. I touch the servo and I flip the switch. When I flip the switch away from me, I'm getting the 30%. When I go to the neutral position, I get 0, and when I go to the other position, I get the 40%. Again, not useful for sport planes or combat planes. The glider guys kind of like the neutral position because they have both positive and negative flaps, and they use camber functions. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an offset in so that the switch drops partial flaps and then full flaps. So I'm going to do an offset on rate B. So I'm going to increase this negative value. So I'm going to match rate B but change the sign. Let's see if that worked. Alright, so now I push the switch away from me. I have no flaps. Pull the switch to the first position, we got 30%. Pull the switch to the last position, and now we have 70%. Let's go back. So the first position of the switch deployed 30%, and the second position added these two together to give us 70%. The 30% offset allowed us to assign one side of the switch as the neutral position. Okay, going back. Now whenever you have flaps, you have an issue with the airplane ballooning, so you might need a little down elevator. So we're going to do that using a program mix. So let's go to program mix, and we're going to create a mix. This is the active, master, and slave. So I'm going to turn this here. I'm going to make the master channel 6. Okay, channel 6 is the first flap servo, and then we need channel 3, the elevator, and go back. So I'm mixing channel 6 to 3, and I'm going to turn it on. Now we're going to set our values in. So let's try, say 30%, just so we can see it. It's way too much, I'm sure. And then, just as in the other settings, we have to put an offset on channel B of 30, so that we end up in the neutral position. Let's see if I've got it right. Alright, so in one position, the switch is deployed away from me. As I pull the switch forward, it pulls up 30% flaps in about 30% elevator. And if I pull it in the other direction, we end up with 70% flaps and 60% elevator. So you can adjust those numbers to meet your specific needs. If your servos are reversed, that is, the arms are on the left side versus the right side, you'll have to change values. So pluses might become minuses and minus might become pluses. The actual percentages will depend on your aircraft and on your flying skills and on the results that you need. Going back, we used flap mix and program mix to create the flap settings. Have a good day.